First, it's nice to have change of pace of life. Like, what have you said, Sue? 5 years and you got to just switch stuff up?
I do. That seemed to be my. I'd get bored. I get bored. My first, my nursing job when I was in my early 40s, I became a supervisor, and after about 4 years, I'm like, okay, what else is there to know or learn? And I just couldn't believe that nurses, like, they stayed at that job, and they stayed at the same job for 20 years. I'm like, oh my God. That, you know, sometimes people are comfortable with that, but I kind of wanted a challenge. So we did. And just like Bruce, when my husband Bruce and I, he was out in practice. He's a OBGYN. He was out in practice for 10, 11 years, and he said, oh, I think I want to go back to school. Meaning he wanted to become a fellow, and he wanted to be, instead of just an OBGYN, he wanted to become a high-risk OB doc. So yeah, I mean, our youngest was 10. We packed up the car. I went back to work full-time for 3 years, and he pursued his degree, or his fellowship degree, I guess you call it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Then we moved to St. Louis. And then, I don't know, it's just, I like, you know, like I said, I never thought I would write a book. But, you know, all of a sudden I'm not nursing anymore. I'm here. I came here. I took care of my mom who had Alzheimer's for a couple of years, and that provided me, you know, reason and what to do. And, you know, I felt good about that. I was able to do that. But then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So, I feel like reinventing, and anybody that gets to the certain age, you know, our generation anyway, and yours, of course, but our generation, we're just not the type that, I'll speak for myself, I guess, that I'm not the type of grandmother, I do have 4 grandkids, that I'm going to just give up my life and take care of my grandkids.
Right.
I raised my kids. I want my life. I want to travel. I want to do things. I want to write. I want to go, I'm taking golf lessons this year. Right?
I love that.
I want to go.
It's the hardest sport. That's the hardest sport ever, Sue.
We were talking before. I said, I mean, you just got to have one beer hole, and then by the end, you won't care. You won't
See,
care.
Paul,